Okay, in February, I made a really bad video with a really bad thumbnail with a really bad idea that I discussed. In this video, I was purely speaking out of emotion and I was using weak arguments because Jimmy Butler is my current favorite player in the NBA. And he's on my favorite team, the Chicago Bulls. I don't want to see Jimmy Butler in another team's jersey, but I know it's time to. If Boston is offering the first pick in this year's draft, it is time to trade Jimmy Butler. Now, I was originally skeptical because, Jimmy's a freaking awesome player. He's been the best player on the Bulls for the past 3 seasons. He's a lockdown defender, a great scorer in both isolation and in a system, and he's a genuinely great and humble dude who has fought his way into the league with sheer determination. He steadily improved to being where he is now, a top 15 player, or even better depending on who you ask. The problem has been, despite Jimmy's individual success, the Chicago Bulls haven't been great. In Jimmy's first season as an all-star level player in 2014, he averaged 20 points per game and the Bulls had the 3rd seed in the East. But this Bulls team was much more talented than it is now. This Bulls team ended up losing in the 2nd round to the Cavs on some very questionable calls. The next season, Jimmy again averaged 20 points per game in the 15-16 season, and the Bulls missed the playoffs. This was mostly because of a lack of chemistry and Garpax's feud with Tom Thibodeau causing Tom to be fired, to be replaced by the coach who is now ranked as the worst in the NBA. The team was now in Jimmy's hands, and he, with the help of Dwayne Wade's leadership rubbing off on him, he jumped up most of his stats, and again, despite the improvement, the Bulls barely made the playoffs, and they lost in the 1st round to the Celtics, who are currently being demolished in the conference finals versus the Cavs. So clearly Jimmy on the Bulls is not working out. Again, a lot of this blame goes to Garpax, well, actually all of it does, but also, I don't know if Jimmy is good enough to lead a championship contender. Even if he is, ask yourself this. Do you think the Bulls could build a contender around Jimmy before his contract expires? No, you don't, because they can't. Now, the root of the problem with this franchise is the management as well as the ownership. The owners want to remain where they are right now so that they don't bring down revenue. The fear is a bad team equals low revenue. That is just not true. The 2 highest ranked franchises in revenue are the Knicks and the Lakers. Yeah, those 2 teams are definitely great. Top of the league for sure. Now number 3 is the Warriors, but in the past, the Warriors fan base has been strong even when they were a bad team. The Bulls are ranked number 4, but they are a large market with a massive fan base. Trading Jimmy and rebuilding won't hurt the franchise much in revenue. And speaking of the money, when Jimmy's contract expires and he somehow miraculously wants to re-sign, this is what he will be making. And he would be making this into his mid-30s. That would really kill this team financially. So for future reasons and financial reasons, Jimmy needs to be traded. Now, a lot of this video has been negative and there isn't much to be happy about with this team. But if Jimmy was traded to the Celtics, they would be getting the number 1 pick in this year's draft, which, provided Gar Forman doesn't screw this up somehow, will be Markelle Fultz. It's pretty unanimous that Fultz is the top talent in this year's draft, despite what he who shall not be named says about Lonzo Ball. Fultz is a 6'4" guard who really has no weakness. He's a great defender, great shooter, great playmaker, and great scorer. He is going to be a superstar, and I say that with a lot of confidence. Also, in the 2nd round, it seems the Bulls are targeting Jonah Bolden, who seems like he could be a sleeper in this year's draft. And they also found some value in the 2nd round in last year's draft with Paul Zipser, who at his peak seems like he could be a 14-ish points per game 3-and-D player who can create a bit for himself. There's also Bobby Portis and Denzel Valentine who could still blossom into at least solid role players. Would this team be good? Hell no. they'd probably have the first pick in 2018, which could be Michael Porter Jr. For once, Bulls fans could actually be looking forward to the future, and that's something I can't say if we end up keeping Butler. If the Bulls want any kind of future, they will trade Jimmy Butler. And am I happy about it right now? No, but in the long run, I'm sure I will be. That's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, as well as hit the notification bell to get notifications every time I upload, and cue the outro music.
I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too. Playing with the strong, it's you.
That's it, Brian?